Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Retro Tech Pickups. I'm Gareth from the Retro Tech Addicts podcast, and this week we have a bunch of bits and pieces, mostly along one theme, but we're going to start with the other loose bits and pieces, and we'll start off with this, an action replay cartridge for the Dreamcast. Figured that would be kind of handy, just to be able to wade through games like crazy without having to worry about dying and stuff, so it seemed to be a fairly decent idea for something to throw at it. Next up is a Dreamcast light gun. It means I need to go and get a CRT TV to be able to use it, but this is an absolute essential if we want to play House of the Dead, which is one of the greatest games ever made. Obviously you put your memory, it'll work with this actually. Put that in the other way around, or thereabouts, or maybe it does go in that way around. Oh, there's only one way it fits. Okay, so the action replay cartridge doesn't work too well with the light gun, but we'll work at that and see what happens. You get a selector there and a big gun there and wee bits of ick maybe around it. Ooh. Right. We'll just leave that over there to fester. Next up we have a game for the Lynx. It's Rampage. I'm surprised I don't have this already, but well, you have to get it at some point. Cracking game. Cracking. Last, before we go on to the one themed collection, we have an old phone. It's a Trio Handspring 180. This was the second phone that came under the Trio branding after the Trio 90. It had the full QWERTY keyboard there, complete with mank, dirt, scum, mung and ich. And then we have buttons down there for phone calls, calendar, World Wide Web and messaging. All the buttons actually contained double function with the function button there. Hit that. It didn't have Wi-Fi. It had really bad battery life. It was about 2.5 hours worth of talk time, which isn't great, although I love this. The flap. You can see through it. You can use. It's not much to pull out of the way, and also the ear speaker is there. So it's a nice design. I really like it for the design, not so much the actual hardware that comes with it. But it's one of those devices that kind of shows the company on its way toward what they ultimately made their name for, and this was a big stepping stone. They learned an awful lot from the likes of this device. There's the stylus. I'm doing this all one-handed. Yeah. And down there we have the SIM card the SIM card door. Let's see if we can get this open, if I can bring my other hand around. This looked a bit dodgy in here. It looks like the battery might have seen better days, because it's I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bit of swelling in behind that, and I imagine the battery's in behind there, so that's where your SIM card goes. It's not exactly flat. That's the port that you connect into charge and for your hot sinking. Oh, whoops. We'll just put that back on. Yeah, it's a nice device. It'll sit nicely in my Palm collection. Yeah, grand. Right, the main theme bit here is that I've been doing quite a bit of collecting for the Amstrad. I bought a few games and a bit of hardware too. Start off with Rolling Thunder. Now we got a collection of Kicks games here, which come in nasty black boxes, and this happened quite frequently with old games. You get these spool holders so that the tape doesn't unravel inside there. But whenever they printed these covers, sometimes they didn't cut out here, and people just forced it through, and it actually cut through the inlay card, which is kind of annoying. But that's just a standard budget game, but a particularly good one. Rolling Thunder, I like Rolling Thunder. Colosseum. Again, oh, completely broken box. But the person this time has had the sense to break these out. But not before time. The indentations have already been made. Looks like Ben-Hur, the game. Just put that back together. Never played it, but it's a Kicks game, so it's another ideal budget one. Marauder. Buggy with gun on top equals fun. Black box. Torn inlay. Top-down shooter action. Pew, 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 pew. Prepare to do battle. Yep, you're as Captain CT Cobra. Yes. I haven't played this before, but it looks like the kind of game that you would play the crap out of once it loads. And finally, the Samurai Trilogy. Oh yeah. Again. Oh, yep, that's been broken through, but it feels like there's something else in here as well. We've got the cassette, we got the standard blurb inside the cover, and we have instructions, tactical decisions, notes, scenario, defense decisions. This seems to be quite a complicated game, to be honest. See, it's called the Samurai Trilogy, but I'm not entirely sure that it is 3 actual games. Maybe it's saying the inlay card. Action sequences that are well different. 3 disciplines. Okay. Well, that's just another Kicks budget game for playing around with. Now on to a big box one. You can either pronounce this XAnon or Xenon. This is a classic game. I know I had the PC version of it, Xenon 2. Well, that's how I pronounced it. I haven't actually opened this yet, so I don't know what's inside. It's a arcade style shooter. Nice graphics, although it says 16-bit screenshots. And this is screenshots from the Commodore 64. Less impressive. Oh, those are the Spectrum ones, so we just don't have Amstrad screenshots on the back for the Amstrad version, which this happens to be. Melbourne House. This is one of the main reasons why I bought it as well, because it's a lovely big boxed version. And inside we have a cassette. Good start. With Xenon written on it, and a poster. Oh no, it's an instruction booklet with the story in it. Ooh. Right up to the point that you get to the gameplay. The sections, the aliens, controls when loading. Yeah, that's quite nice actually. It's a nice collection of bits and bobs inside. Sorry, I'm hitting the camera an awful lot this week. There we go. Xenon. Stick that over there. Right. I already have one of these, but it doesn't appear to work anymore, and it's possibly because I plugged in the wrong power supply for it. But it's a GX 4000. Now these are common as muck on eBay. You see them quite frequently, but I like them. I think some people say they're really ugly, but I think they're particularly nice. I think a lot about how Amstrad marketed these is like some kind of spacecraft going pew, 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 zoom, wow, and thrusters coming out the back. But you know, I don't think it's a particularly ugly console. By comparison with the Commodore version, it was particularly ugly. I think there's a lot of design that's gone into that, and when you look at it beside a 464 Plus and a 6128 Plus, you can see where those design decisions have come in. You know, these bars at the side make it quite easy to hold. It could almost be a handheld, but it's not. You got a dust flap, which probably opens at some point whenever we put a cartridge in. There's the on-off switch, pause button, Indicator light, always handy. Headphone socket, joystick, thing port, joystick, network port. Now on the back here we have blanked out power. That's for the Amstrad monitor, and a SCART port. A button for switching left to right. I honestly can't remember what that's for. And RF out. So I believe on my other one oh yes, one of these power is for the monitor itself, because the monitor has a power cable on it, whereas that could just be for the standard power, but I don't know why that's blanked out. I think on my other one that's open to be used. I don't know, I'll have to look into that. I didn't actually realise. And you get the nice brass screws. I've noticed that Amstrad tend to use these quite a lot. Brass screws seem to be evident, although it does look like this might have been opened before. That screw's seen some damage over the years, or seen some action. Yeah, well, I'll have a look at it. Hopefully this works. I haven't tested it yet. Well, I've got the power adapter and all with it, and a joypad, but I didn't feel like showing you that because there's a couple of other bits and pieces here that I'm quite excited about. I have 2 games that I picked up for it that I didn't have before, and that puts my collection up to 15, I believe. We have Operation Thunderbolt, sorry, which is I think it's the sequel to Operation Wolf. I can't remember which way it works. Might say on the back. No, it doesn't. Right, well, it's a shooter. Most people know what these shooters are like. Bang, 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 bang. Just control. Always better with a light gun. You just shoot everyone that comes toward you. Obviously on the cartridge, that's a nice trick. One might wonder if this has now been... Yep, it feels like it has been opened. It doesn't feel as solid as it should do. Hopefully we'll be able to show you later on what a solid one feels like. But we've got the manual here. The cartridge itself should be fairly easy to replace. They do pop up every now and again, unboxed. But it's the box and the manual that you really want whenever you're buying Amstrad products. I know I'm not big into box and manuals, but for the GX4000 I make an exception. So yeah, I'm chuffed with that. Oh, that's an idea. What we'll do is we'll open this up and check and see that the cartridge slot works. The cartridge slot doesn't work. Oh, right. There must be something jammed down in there. Okay, well, we'll come back to that in a bit. And that's Operation Wolf, obviously on the GX4000. Next up, another GX4000 game, and one that is a little bit rarer. Plotting. Not a great game, probably the GX4000's alternative to Tetris or Columns. The bits go in this way, and you link up a number of different patterns and things, and then eventually they disappear. It does for about 3 minutes. It'll entertain you, and then you'll get very bored and get rid of it. This one hasn't been opened before, so it must be in fairly good nick. The cartridge doesn't feel as loose, and then we've got a manual as well. I really like these boxes. There was a lot of thought put into them, and you know, that little bit of plastic there that holds the cartridge in positions. It's a nice touch. And they're good big boxes as well, with handles here to allow you to grab them and carry them with ease to wherever you might be carrying them. And then there's these as well, so for you to hang up and display in your cloakroom or in your living room for all your friends to come round and gawk at. Then you could put them down to make them easily stackable. There's a level of thought that went into these cartridge cases that a lot of other companies didn't actually bother with. But that's our star of the week, plotting on the GX4000. I'm chuffed to have that. Not chuffed to have this at the moment with that door that doesn't open properly, but we'll get to that and see exactly what the problem is there. We'll just cover it up for now. Just forget that's there. It's not there. Okay. Okay, well that's the haul for this week. Take care, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye.